And we have Tony Joe White in St. Louis with us today, and it's nice to have you here.
Thanks. I'm glad to get down here. It's been a couple of years since I was through here, man.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, at least two, I know. Seems like. Of course, we've been traveling so much the last few weeks that time gets weird, but I think the last time I was here was me and Waylon. Seemed like I played over here.
Let's go back. You were born in Louisiana.
Yeah, a place called Goodwill, Louisiana, about as big as this radio station.
What is that near?
It's close to Monroe, Greenville, Mississippi, right in the corner there. You can go 20 miles and get in Arkansas and 15 in Mississippi. It's just right there.
Tell us about your early life.
Well, we was, till I was 18 years old, we was raised on a cotton farm. My dad farmed, and one brother and 5 sisters. Everybody in the family played, guitar, piano, and sang, and we just, never did have a whole lot, nothing, but we never did need anything, we had plenty of food and clothes to wear and played our music. I think Daddy made $2,000 a year, off his crop.
He was a farmer?
Yep.
What kind of music were you singing then? Of course, gospel comes to my mind.
My folks, they all sung gospel a lot and a lot of country music. And I was going to be a baseball player till I was 16. I didn't really care nothing about it because I'd heard it every day all my life. And then my brother brought home an album by a guy named Lightning Hopkins, an old black blues singer.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard him play that guitar and sang that. That's when I started getting on
it. Did you get your first guitar by hook or crook, or did the family get it for you? How'd you come by it?
Daddy gave me one of his he had 2. I think it was a K, an old K holly body. And he gave me that, and I played it and beat it till it wouldn't do nothing else. And he gave me 3 acres of cotton one year. He said, if you'll take care of it, and you can get you. And I bought me, from that, I bought a solid body Les Paul Gibson. And I was going to play at a high school dance one night. I'd had it about 1 month. And one of my sister's little boy had been messing with the case, and he had unlatched the latch, and I didn't know it, and I was hurrying and I ran in there and grabbed it and picked it up, and that pretty blonde Gibson fell out, and that neck just popped off that thing like...
Enough to make somebody sick.
Oh, God, we just all stood around and just stared at it.
When did you write your first song?
I think it was around 67, 68, right in there. I was playing in the clubs in Texas, down in Corpus Christi and Kingsville, and I just got tired of singing Willie Bully and all them tunes you had to sing in clubs, and I said, I'm going to try to just write something I know about, and I messed around and wrote a couple of things. I think Sundown Blues was my first thing to write, and then I wrote Polk and Polk Salad and Rainy Night in Georgia, I think, all in the same week.
In the same week?
Yeah. But it was just like I knew about Polk Salad. I'd ate a lot of it growing up, and I knew about Rainy Nights in Georgia because I used to drive a dump truck down there right after I got out of school.
All of us guys from Texas, and I'm from Texas and Louisiana, and down in there know about Polk Salad. And my wife every now and then will see some Polk. She'll say, there's some Polk.
Yeah, man, you got to have it every now and then. What part of Texas are you in?
Dallas. Been up here for 16 years, so I guess I'm once removed.
I seen some of that in a can in a grocery store, man. They got canned nowadays.
Polk?
Yeah. I didn't believe it, and somebody sent me a can, and I'm sure it wouldn't do good, though.
You were down in the clubs in Texas and wrote Polk Salad Annie and Rainy Night in Georgia. Immediately pops into my mind that you didn't have a successful record on either one of those songs, did you?
Yeah, my version of Polk Salad was the hit.
The one.
Yeah, it went.
That's right. They didn't release Elvis's on a single.
No, he come out. See, mine come out in '69 and '70, and it hit in '70. He come out in like '72, '73 on that album. But we had like over a million seller with it.
Your name is one that we hear about things you're doing more than we hear about Tony Joe White on records. You know, Tony Joe White wrote this, and Tony Joe White wrote that, and Tony Joe White was on stage at so-and-so, and he just knocked the crowd out. And everybody says, that's fine. Where's the Tony Joe White record?
It's one of them things, man. It's hard to explain why I just try to write and keep going and playing. And like we was talking a while ago, people go, if you're not on the radio and if they're not hearing you, they think you've done shut it down and we're off doing something else. But I've been playing jobs. I've been doing concerts. I've been over in Europe a lot over there playing, and it's just a matter of getting with a good company that knows what you're trying to do and just gets there and so just stay with it and go with it.
Now you're with a good
CBS.
company now, CBS Columbia Records, and who is you? Do you have a management company? Of course, you have a producer now, or are you producing yourself?
Snake Reynolds and me are doing it kind of together on this album, and I'm just an agency out of New York, APA. They book a lot of big acts, signing up with them, and it seems to it's a matter of a lot of people working at one time on one thing. A lot of times you'll have a great song and just be you and one guy out there working it, but when you get the agency, the company, and you see all these people pulling for you and everybody's doing it at once, then the people start hearing you on the radio.
Now, you mentioned concentration on one thing, which leads me kind of back to your early life when you were plunking around on guitar there at home and playing in clubs, and maybe you weren't playing in clubs yet. Did you do anything else? Have you always done music, or did you have other jobs?
Yeah, I worked a pipeline one time as a welder's helper. I drove a truck for the highway department down in Marietta, Georgia one summer for a dump truck, and I never was real good at none of these things because I was always had my mind on that guitar or a song I was working on. And like one day, man, they had this big, deep pit where you get up on this cliff with your truck and you dump your load of gravel over in this thing. And I ran up on top of that thing, and I flipped the lever to the dump truck to dump that big load, but I didn't open the tailgate, and all of a sudden that truck starts rearing straight up at the sky, and the whole thing's about to go over in this hole. And this guy comes running up and with a big long stick and reaches up there and hits the lever, and it comes back down. But I've had a lot of jobs that I tried. I even did a full of brush salesman one thing at a time down in Texas, and I was playing at night, playing music, and I never was real good at none of them things. They was just something to try to bring in a little extra money.
When you wrote Rainy Night in Georgia, you said you wrote those Polk Salad Annie and Rainy Night all in the same week. Were you in Georgia when you wrote that?
No, I was done down in Texas. I'd left Georgia and had gotten some little jobs at a club playing down there in Kingsville and then Corpus Christi, and just sit down. I was writing a lot back then, and in that one period of time I was writing tunes that's on some of them early albums like Old Man Willis and Willie and Laura Mae Jones, and a lot of songs that had a pretty close meaning to me.
Then how long was it from the time that you wrote that Hank Williams Jr. latched onto it?
Hank Jr. done it about 57 versions down. We've got other day I heard we have, I think, 97 cuts on Rainy Night so far, including orchestras and Gladys Knight, Ray Charles, people like that.
That may be why we don't hear from Tony Joe White much. He's sitting back enjoying his money from Rainy Night in Georgia.
As a matter of fact, it's it's spread out. You can live pretty good on something like that. It's not nothing that you get in just one big thing, but it's one like writing keeps a person going through the years if he's not on top of his own self singing, you know. So I was real glad that happened.
Tom T. Hall told me one time, he said, I don't want to be a singer. I'm not going to be a singer. I just want to write songs. And then the next time I talked to him, he had 2 or 3. Well, he said, I just, somebody talked me into recording something. Next time I talked to him, he had a bus. He had overhead. He was on the road. He was at a club out here. And he said, and we remembered that first time because it had been years since then. He said, yeah, I remember that. And he said, I'm just going to go back to writing one of these days. And now I notice he's taken 3 or 4 months off first of the year. And he's not singing, not traveling. Why, was that what you had in mind? Just want to be a writer? I don't want to sing them? Or did you ever have that?
No, I always wanted to be I love the feeling on stage playing for the people when the people are really with you and your band's cooking and you got that sweat going and everybody is just one big thing. That's a real high feeling, man, because you can write a good song and sit in your house and sing it a few times, and about a day or two later you get burned on it. But when it really happens is when it gets to the people and they say, yeah, all right, and then y'all both sit and listen to it.
So the stage has got you, kind of.
Yeah, I've always been a performer a lot. I love to do it, and I remember in the early days I used to, when I first started, I used to do Elvis a lot on stage, all the jumping around and all that. And then when he come out with those tunes, it was really just a big kick, you know.
Do you have your own band?
Yeah. In fact, the album that we just got out, that's these 4 guys I've been working with for a few years. Just the drummer, he's been with me 7, and the other guys have been with me about 3. And it's the first time that I've got to go in, in a studio and just do it. In fact, you can't do it a lot of times because band players, there's a difference in a musician studio and them. You don't get something happening, but this thing is that we're playing together is real tight and it's just natural. So what you hear on the album is exactly what it is on stage.
What do you call your band?
We haven't got no name.
Haven't named it? The No Name Band.
Oh, it's just Tony Joe White, and then usually introduce all the guys.
Are you kind of concentrating right now on being an opening act for somebody, or are you just booking on your own?
We're just going out, just booking on our own, and sometimes I go out with other artists. Me and Waylon did 8 months together last year, and I've done 3 or 4 shows with Hank Jr. And it's funny combinations of because a lot of my music, I write a lot of country tunes for other artists, and they cut them good. But a lot of things I do on stage is, pretty upbeat, funky type, bluesy style music, almost bluesy country feel. A lot of, and they'll pair us up, and like me and Waylon or someone, and I get thinking, boy, it's gonna be odd going out and playing for just hardcore country people. But that's what I keep saying is to record companies is there's no problem with the people. They can listen to Hank Jr. or Waylon or me, and a lot of them can even listen to Michael Jackson right behind that. It's like seem like it's things are kind of opening up, and you don't have to be a bag no more.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say, "Oh, you're a swamp rock, ain't you?" I said, "No, man, I write all kinds of things,
Whatever swamp rock is.
Well, that was when Polk Satellite come out. Boy, all the press was swamp this and swamp that. All they thought I knew about was gators and snakes.
Well, let's see where we go from here. Let's move on into personal things. I want to talk to you about your personal life. Are you married?
Yeah.
Got a family?
Yeah, I got 3 kids and been married 19 years.
That's a record nowadays.
Maybe. I got real lucky. Got a good Texas woman that, just really always cared about a lot.
Louisiana boy with a Texas woman. Where's she from?
Del Rio.
Down south.
Mm-hmm.
And about your home, where are you living now?
I just left Memphis 3 weeks ago. I've been there 14 years. Moved to Nashville out by Franklin in the hill country outside. And I'd been driving up there all these years, every week or every 2 weeks, because that's where all my work was. And finally just got right on up there in the middle of it.
What kind of a house do you have? What kind of furniture? Let's go inside the Tony Joe White home.
I've looked a long time, 5 years looking for this place, and I always wanted a log house. It's a log house. The furniture inside is, I got a big old wooden kitchen table that I made myself out of some, like 4x8 boards, It's real old-timey looking inside, like, leather things and Indian paintings, old guns laying around, saddles laying in the living room floor, that type of thing.
Do you, hobbies?
Hobbies, I love to play golf. I love to crappie fish and bass fish with a fly rod. And horses. We raised a few quarter horses I got a place up in the Ozark Mountains, Mountain View, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah, I know that place.
I've had since Polk Saddle Annie came out. I bought that place back then. And we've raised cattle and horses up there now since 70.
And I want to take a wild guess at your birthday. Sometime in October.
July 23rd.
Yeah, I missed it a little way, friends.
Close.
July the 23rd.
Yeah, real close.
I missed it a little way. Well, you can't be perfect all the time.
September.
November. You were closer than I was.
And neither one won't make no records.
You did better than I did. What about the future for Tony Joe White? Now, everybody that has asked me the question, well, we saw Tony Joe White on stage, or we heard that he just knocked him out on stage, or he wrote so-and-so. Now we're going to be hearing from Tony Joe White on one of the top record labels in the nation, Columbia Records. What do you have in your future? We got this album.
Got the album. We got the single come off of it. It's called The Lady in My Life. Mm-hmm. We're coming back to all these cities that I have been on for the last 3 weeks. The radio tours. We're coming back starting the last part of November up into December with my band and playing in each town at, the spot where we should play. Whether it's a club or an auditorium or what, just gonna do that. And then they've got a couple of movie plans. They're talking about an APA, and I've done a couple of things before, and I really enjoyed it a lot, and now they're gonna really try to work it hard and get something that'd be right, and just I just want to keep writing and playing, Mainly I would love for this album to go good so that I could go play anytime I wanted to, anywhere, and then the people wouldn't go, well, where are you now? That would be a good thing.
Of course, nowadays we talk about a lot of things that we used not to even think about. With records, it doesn't end there, because all of a sudden you have a record. If you have a hit, or even if you don't have, you have a thing called videos that go with these records.
Yeah, we've got one video made already. In fact, it's about 5 different tunes on it. It was like a thing that's sent to record stores, and it's not on MTV, but it's a thing like CBS uses themselves. And we're talking about making another one maybe in January for MTV. So, boy, I tell you, if they would have had those things, like I always wanted to do a video. I had a tune called "Even Trolls Love Rock and Roll," And if we could have got that out on video and had an old troll, you know, doing his thing and under the bridge and all that, it would have made a good visual thing. A lot of those songs are real visual, you know. But we'll get to them.
You've played on stage with a lot of the people in the business, and I'll put you on the spot. Who do you enjoy being on stage with? Well, on the same show with? Who do you have the most fun with?
I think Waylon and me had the best time as far as just we've known each other a long time, and we get off and just sitting on the bus and writing or playing songs, and then when we get on stage, he tries to get you tickled, or he'll unplug your guitar out in the middle of a tune or something. And he just has a good time with it, and he'd probably be the one.
Tony Joe White, you know, it's been kind of fun having you in St. Louis, and we'll look forward to you coming back with your band, even if they don't have a name.
I'll name them for you.
And we want you to let us know about that when the time comes, and
we'll do it.
We'll get back on the air together here and mull over what's happened between now and then.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll be sure to let you know, because it's not very far off.
Okay, and good luck with the new album and the songs from it. And thanks for coming to St. Louis, Tony Joe White.
Thank you. I enjoyed it, man.